And welcome back. It prides itself on being where everyone gets a bargain. Now the warehouse believes it snagged one itself, buying the Noel Leeming chain of 92 stores for $65 million. Noel Leeming Group is the parent company of Bond & Bond and will operate as a separate trading division. Joining me now is the warehouse's chief executive, Mark Powell. Good morning to you, Mark.
Morning.
What made you want to buy Noel Leeming?
Well, I think for us strategically it fits with our overall portfolio of businesses. We've got warehouse stationery, which is often not talked about but is a significant business with $200 million of sales, and we've got the warehouse. In both those businesses we sell consumer electronics. In the warehouse we sell home appliances, and so it was a really balancing of our portfolio and enabling us to have a very defensive position and being able to optimise each of those brands.
So will those divisions cease to sell those products and leave that to your Noel Leeming arm, or will you just spread it out between the three?
No, we'll work it between the three. They've got very different brand positioning, what we call its positioning and its personality. And warehouse stationery has very much got its own distinct identity. The warehouse has, and Noel Leeming Group will maintain that. But they'll all stock those products, but they'll be sort of like overlapping circles that overlap a little bit, but are positioned quite differently, and the ranges will be quite different.
So there's not going to be less choice for consumers in the market?
Oh, not at all. In fact, I think it'll lead to more choice, actually, across these three brands.
Better prices?
Hopefully. We're always looking for better prices, as are all New Zealanders. So that's what we try and give, and otherwise you can't compete in New Zealand. So
you're going to leave Noel Leeming as a separate division, but it also has the Bond & Bond brand. So what are you going to do with that? Well,
we want to take our time, a considered approach to understand what's the brand positioning and personality of Bond & Bond vis-a-vis Noel Leeming, and we'll do that in the new year and we haven't got a firm preconceived view, but we'll take a view on that in the new year.
So is it possible that there might be store closures or job losses?
I don't want to speculate on that. You know, it's as I said, we'll take a view in the new year.
But there must be some back office things that you're already doing at the warehouse that you wouldn't want to double up on?
Yes, you're going to look at back office and support functions, but for me, you always start with the customer and start with the brand. For example, at warehouse stationery, whilst we do look to share strengths, I've always been very clear they're distinct businesses. They need to retain their own profit and loss account and ownership of how they serve the customer. And sometimes that means foregoing some theoretical synergies in the back office. So again, we'll take a very considered approach to that and make sure we do it very carefully.
Is this a business that needs you to go in and do a shake-up and turn it around, or are you comfortable with how it's performing at the moment?
No, we wanted the leadership team to stay. It's done well in the last few years in a challenging market, and they've been a good leadership team in how they've operated the business, so we wanted to retain them. Clearly, you're always looking for improvement. If you stand still in retail, you're going backwards. So in that way, in retail, you're shaking up every week, and we'll keep on doing that, but it's not from a point of view that we think the leadership team there isn't doing a great job and will continue to do.
Noel Leeming has been private equity owned, has a whole lot of debt. How much of that do you now assume ownership of?
Well, we paid $65 million debt-free, so we're not taking any debt, and that's important, and that will make it EBIT contributive to us as a group straight away.
So how confident are you that you did get a bargain?
I think we paid a fair price, and I think in time it will add value. I think it's good news for consumers, it's good news for team members, it's good news for suppliers, and it's good news for shareholders. So it ticks all those four boxes, and so we're pretty happy with it.
It sounds like you should be. Thank you very much, Mark Powell, Chief Executive of the Warehouse.
One News Update is brought to you by the new ANZ.
The country's biggest retailer is expanding its empire. The Warehouse has bought Noel Leeming Group in a $65 million deal that gives the Red Shed owner 92 Noel Leeming and Bond & Bond stores. Joanna Hunkin has the details.
It's the home of Kiwi bargain hunting, but even with a $65 million price tag, the Warehouse is happy with this purchase.
I think we paid a fair price.
The deal announced today has been 6 months in the making after Noel Leeming's Australian owners looked to offload the electrical chain, which is millions in debt.
We've bought it for $65 million completely debt-free.
That'll buy the company 92 Noel Leeming and Bond & Bond stores, which it plans to keep and continue to run as separate chains.
In the new year, we'll look at how best we strengthen all our retail brands. We're keeping the leadership team at Noel Leeming Group. You never say never that there wouldn't be any changes to structure. That would be disingenuous, and retailers change, and you're always looking at how you can improve.
The deal will see the Warehouse become a major player in the electronic retail sector, but the Commerce Commission's told One News it has no concerns about the deal as there's still plenty of competition in the market. Others are waiting to see how the buyout will affect consumers.
What we need to know is whether Kiwis are going to get a bargain from this deal. Consumer electronics are more around us, but the prices and the margins for retailers have reduced over the years. So the stronger the buying group, the better the quality of gadgets we should be able to get.
But there's a risk streamlining will result in less choice.
We need to make sure that we still get the full range of products that we're used to.
Investors equally wary, with no change to the Warehouse Group share price at the close of business. Joanna Hunkin, One News.
This One News update is brought to you by the new ANZ.